Welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode is for anyone who knows what they should be doing, but still struggles to do it. You know you should exercise, but you keep delaying it. You know you should study, build your business, improve your skills, or work on your goals, but somehow the day ends and nothing important gets done. You make promises to yourself at night. You say that tomorrow will be different. You say you will wake up early, avoid distractions, work harder, and finally become disciplined. Then tomorrow arrives, and the same pattern begins again. Today, we are going to talk about how to break that cycle, stop waiting for motivation, and push yourself to take action every single day. Our guest is someone known for his teachings on discipline, mindfulness, inner strength, and self-mastery. Please welcome Shi Heng Yi.
Thank you. I am happy to be here.
Let us begin with a simple question. Most people already know what they need to do. They know that hard work is necessary. They know that wasting time will not improve their lives. They know that consistency matters. Why do people still fail to take action?
Because knowing something is not the same as practicing it. The mind often chooses what is familiar, comfortable, and easy. It tries to protect you from discomfort, uncertainty, failure, and effort. Whenever you try to begin something difficult, the mind produces resistance. It says, maybe this is not the right time. It says, we need more preparation. It says, start tomorrow when you feel better. These thoughts may sound reasonable, but very often they are simply excuses dressed as logic. Inside every person, there are two opposing tendencies. One part wants growth. The other part wants comfort. One part wants discipline. The other part wants immediate pleasure. One part wants to build a better future. The other part wants to avoid discomfort in the present moment. Every day, your actions decide which part becomes stronger.
So when we avoid action, we are not simply doing nothing. We are strengthening the habit of avoidance.
Exactly. People think training only happens in a gym, a temple, a classroom, or a workplace. But you are training yourself in every moment. When your alarm rings and you immediately get out of bed, you train discipline. When you turn it off and sleep again, you train delay. When you begin an important task before checking your phone, you train focus. When you open social media to avoid your responsibilities, you train distraction. When you remain calm during an argument, you train self-control. When you react without thinking, you train impulsiveness. Every action is a vote for the person you are becoming. This is why small decisions are not really small. Repeated decisions form habits. Habits form character. And character shapes destiny.
A lot of people say, I am not feeling motivated today. Should people wait for motivation before they act?
No. Motivation is useful, but it is unreliable. Motivation is like the weather. Some days it is strong. Other days it disappears. If your actions depend on motivation, your progress will always be unstable. Discipline begins when you stop asking, do I feel like doing this? You begin asking, does this need to be done? There will be days when you do not feel like exercising. There will be days when you do not feel like studying. There will be days when your work feels boring, difficult, or repetitive. Those days are not interruptions in your journey. Those days are the journey. Anyone can take action when they feel inspired. The real test is whether you can act when inspiration is absent.
That is powerful. Many people believe disciplined individuals always feel strong and confident. But you are saying they also experience resistance.
Of course, discipline does not mean that resistance disappears. Discipline means that resistance no longer controls your behavior. A disciplined person may feel tired and still complete the task. A disciplined person may feel afraid and still move forward. A disciplined person may doubt themselves and still practice. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision that something else is more important than fear. Discipline is not the absence of laziness. It is the decision that your purpose is more important than temporary comfort.
Sometimes a goal feels so large that a person becomes overwhelmed before even starting. Someone wants to lose weight, complete a degree, build a company, write a book, or completely change their life. How can they take action when the goal feels too big?
Stop looking at the entire mountain. Look at the next step. When you stare only at the top of the mountain, the distance may frighten you. But when you focus on where to place your foot next, the path becomes manageable. People often confuse goals with actions. I want to become fit. I want to become fit. I'm not an action. I will walk for 20 minutes today is an action. I want to become successful is not an action. I will complete my most important task before noon is an action. I want to write a book is not an action. I will write 500 words today is an action. A goal gives direction, but daily action creates movement. You do not need to complete your entire journey today. You only need to honor today. You only need to honor today's responsibility.
What is the greatest enemy of daily action?
Internal negotiation. You decide in the morning that you will exercise. In the evening, the mind says, you have had a difficult day. Rest today and begin properly tomorrow. You decide to study for 1 hour. Then the mind says, watch one short video first. You decide to eat healthy food. Then the mind says, one unhealthy meal will not matter. You can restart on Monday. The problem is not one video, one meal, or one missed session. The problem is teaching your mind that every commitment is negotiable. When you repeatedly break promises to yourself, your self-trust becomes weaker. After some time, even when you create a serious plan, a part of you no longer believes you will follow it.
That is something many people experience. They stop trusting themselves because they have made and broken the same promises so many times. How can someone rebuild that trust?
Begin with small promises and keep them. Do not begin by making an extreme schedule that you cannot maintain. Do not say, from tomorrow I will wake up at 4, exercise for 2 hours, meditate for 1 hour, read 50 pages, and never use social media again. That plan may create excitement, but excitement is not transformation. Instead, create a promise that is small enough to complete but meaningful enough to matter. Wake up 15 minutes earlier. Exercise for 10 minutes. Read 5 pages. Work without your phone for 25 minutes. Meditate for 5 minutes. Then keep that promise. Every completed promise tells your mind, when I say I will do something, I do it. Self-confidence is not built through positive words alone. It is built through evidence. The strongest evidence is consistent action.
So real confidence comes from keeping commitments to yourself.
Yes, many people wait to feel confident before they begin. But confidence usually comes after action, not before it. You act while uncertain. You practice while inexperienced. You continue while results are invisible. Then, through repetition, your skill improves. Your mind begins to recognize that you are capable. Confidence grows because you have proof. If you keep waiting to feel ready, you may wait forever. Readiness is often created by beginning.
What would you say to someone who keeps overthinking? They analyze every option, imagine every possible failure, and spend so much time preparing that they never actually start.
Overthinking can become a form of avoidance. Thinking is useful when it leads to clarity. Thinking becomes harmful when it replaces action. Some people believe they need certainty before taking the first step. But life rarely offers complete certainty. You do not need to see the entire road before beginning. You need enough clarity to take the next responsible step. Ask yourself 3 questions. What is within my control? What is the next useful action? Can I complete it now? Then stop debating and begin. A person can spend 1 year planning a perfect routine. Another person can begin an imperfect routine today. After 1 year, the second person will have experience, strength, knowledge, and results. The first person may still be adjusting the plan.
Perfectionism is another major problem. People say, if I cannot do it properly, there is no point doing it. What is your view on that?
Perfectionism often protects the ego. If you never begin, you never have to face being a beginner. You never have to make mistakes. You never have to see your current limitations, but growth requires humility. You must be willing to perform badly before you can perform well. The first workout may feel difficult. The first video may be uncomfortable. The first business idea may fail. The first page you write may not be good. This is normal. A seed does not become a tree in 1 day. Do not insult the beginning because it does not look like the final result. Your responsibility is not to be perfect. Your responsibility is to practice.
How important is routine in taking action every day?
Routine reduces the number of decisions you need to make. When your important actions have a fixed time and place, you do not need to debate them every day. For example, if you decide that you exercise every morning after waking up, exercise becomes part of your structure. If you decide that you study from 7 to 8 every evening, that hour already has a purpose. Without structure, the mind chooses according to mood. With structure, the decision has already been made. But routine should serve you. You should not become mentally rigid. Sometimes life changes. Sometimes unexpected responsibilities appear. On those days, adjust the size of the action, but do not completely abandon the habit. If you cannot exercise for 1 hour, exercise for 10 minutes. If you cannot read 20 pages, read 2 pages. If you cannot complete the whole project, complete one important section. Maintaining continuity is often more important than performing perfectly.
That reminds me of the idea of never missing twice. One missed day is a mistake, but 2 missed days can become a new pattern.
That is correct. Missing one day does not destroy your progress. The danger begins when one missed day becomes permission to stop. People often make a small mistake and then create a large collapse. They miss one workout and say, "This week is already ruined." They eat one unhealthy meal and say, "The diet is finished." They waste one morning and decide the whole day is lost. This is unnecessary. A wrong turn does not require you to abandon the journey. Correct your direction as soon as you notice. Do not waste additional time punishing yourself for the time already lost. Awareness should lead to correction, not self-hatred.
There is an important distinction there. How can a person be strict with themselves without becoming cruel to themselves?
Discipline and self-punishment are not the same. A wise teacher does not humiliate the student. But a wise teacher also does not accept endless excuses. Treat yourself in the same way. Be honest about your failures. Do not hide from them. Do not blame everyone else. But do not use your mistakes as evidence that you are worthless. A mistake is information. It shows you where your system, preparation, attention, or discipline became weak. Study the mistake. Correct the cause. Continue the practice. Compassion says, "You made a mistake, but you can recover." Weakness says, "You made a mistake, so nothing matters." These are not the same.
What role does the environment play? Can someone become disciplined while constantly surrounded by distractions?
Your environment has great influence. Many people rely only on willpower while keeping temptation directly in front of them. They want to focus, but their phone is beside them. They want to eat healthy food, but unhealthy food is always visible. They want to wake up early, but they remain awake late at night watching videos. They want peace, but they continuously consume noise. This creates unnecessary struggle. Do not only strengthen your willpower, design your environment. Place your phone in another room during focused work. Prepare your exercise clothes the night before. Keep useful books visible. Remove applications that repeatedly waste your time. Spend more time with people who respect growth and responsibility. Your environment should make good actions easier and destructive actions more difficult.
Let us talk about phones and social media. Many people wake up, check their phones, and immediately lose control of their attention. How damaging is this habit?
Attention is one of your most valuable resources. Where attention goes, energy follows. If the first hour of your day is given to messages, videos, news, arguments, and entertainment, your mind becomes reactive. Other people begin deciding what you think about. A stronger beginning is to create space before consuming information. Wake up, breathe, move your body, drink water, reflect on your priorities. Complete one meaningful action before entering the digital world. You do not need to hate technology. You need to use it consciously. A tool should serve the user. When the user becomes controlled by the tool, the relationship has become unhealthy.
Some listeners may say, I understand all of this, but I still feel lazy. What should someone do at the exact moment laziness appears?
Do not argue with laziness for too long. Move the body. Stand up. Take one breath. Count backward from 5. Then begin the smallest physical action connected at the task. If you need to exercise, put on your shoes. If you need to study, open the book. If you need to write the first sentence. If you need to clean, pick up one item. Action creates energy. People often wait for energy before acting, but many times, energy comes after movement. A stationary body supports a stationary mind. Change your posture, change your breathing, and create motion. The beginning is often the hardest part. Once movement has started, resistance becomes weaker.
What about fear of failure? Sometimes people know what they want, but they are afraid that their effort will not succeed.
Failure is not the opposite of progress. Failure is often part of progress. The deeper problem is attachment to identity. A person does not only think, this project may fail. They think, if this project fails, it means I am a failure. This is incorrect. An action can fail. A plan can fail. A business can fail. A performance can fail. But these events do not define your entire being. Separate the lesson from the ego. Ask, what did this experience teach me? Ask, what should I change? Ask, what weakness did this reveal? Failure becomes dangerous only when you refuse to learn, or refuse to learn, or refuse to continue.
And what about fear of judgment? A lot of people are not afraid of the work itself. They are afraid of what other people may say.
People will speak whether you act or remain inactive. If you begin, someone may criticize you. If you do not begin, someone may still criticize you. If you succeed, someone may question you. If you fail, someone may laugh. You cannot build your life around controlling other people's opinions. Most people are deeply occupied with their own problems. Their judgment is often temporary, but the consequences of your choices remain with you. Years from now, the people whose opinions frightened you may no longer be present in your life. Yet you may still be living with the regret of never trying. Respect useful criticism. Ignore meaningless noise. Do not surrender your direction to people who do not carry your responsibility.
How can mindfulness help with daily action? Many people think mindfulness only means sitting quietly.
Mindfulness means seeing clearly. It allows you to observe a thought without automatically obeying it. For example, the mind says, I am too tired. Mindfulness creates a small space. You ask, am I truly exhausted, or am I experiencing resistance? The mind says, I will begin tomorrow. Mindfulness asks, why not today? The mind says, I need to check my phone. Mindfulness asks, is this necessary, or am I escaping discomfort? Without awareness, thoughts become commands. With awareness, thoughts become information. You can examine them before choosing your response. That space between impulse and action is where self-mastery begins.
What practical mindfulness exercise would you recommend before beginning a difficult task?
Sit or stand still for 1 minute. Breathe slowly. Notice the sensations in your body. Notice the thoughts trying to pull you away. Do not fight them. Do not follow them. Simply recognize them. Then state the task clearly. Say, for the next 20 minutes, I will give my full attention to this work. Begin immediately. The purpose is not to eliminate every distracting thought. The purpose is to stop becoming a servant to every thought.
Some people work hard for a few days, but stop because they cannot see results. How can they remain consistent during the period when progress is invisible?
Understand that visible results are delayed. When you plant a seed, you do not dig it up every day to see whether it is growing. You water it, you protect it, you give it time. Many important changes begin beneath the surface. When you exercise, your body may be adapting before the mirror shows a difference. When you study, your understanding may be forming before your grades improve. When you build a business, your skills may be developing before income appears. When you practice discipline, your identity may be changing before anyone notices. Do not judge a long-term process through short-term emotion. Measure your consistency, not only your immediate results. Ask, did I practice today? Ask, did I improve the process? Ask, did I honor the commitment? Results matter, but the process creates them.
Would you say that people should focus more on systems than goals?
Both are useful. A goal tells you where to go. A system tells you how to move. Without a goal, effort may lack direction. Without a system, the goal remains imagination. If your goal is to become healthier, your system may include regular sleep, daily movement, nutritious food, and scheduled exercise. If your goal is to complete a degree, your system may include daily study periods, weekly revision, and consistent research. If your goal is to build a business, your system may include contacting customers, improving the product, learning sales, and reviewing finances. Do not repeatedly stare at the goal while ignoring the daily system. The destination is reached through repeated steps.
What is the difference between being busy and taking meaningful action?
Business creates movement without necessarily creating progress. A person may answer messages all day, reorganize files, watch educational videos, create plans, and attend meetings. They feel tired, but the most important task remains untouched. Meaningful action is connected to a clear priority. Ask yourself, which action, if completed today, would create the greatest positive effect? Do that action before filling the day with minor activity. Many people perform easy tasks to avoid important tasks. Easy tasks create the feeling of productivity without the discomfort of real progress. Be careful of productive-looking avoidance.
How should someone decide their daily priority?
Choose one primary task. You may complete many tasks, but identify the one that must not be ignored. Write it down. Define exactly what completion means. Then protect time for it. Do not begin the day by giving your best energy to random demands. When possible, give your strongest attention to your highest responsibility. At the end of the day, ask 3 questions. What did I complete? Where did I lose focus? What will I improve tomorrow? This reflection turns experience into wisdom.
Many people try to change everything at once. They start a strict diet, a difficult workout plan, a new business, a reading routine, meditation, and an early morning schedule all on the same day. Why does this often fail?
Because intensity without stability is difficult to maintain. The mind becomes excited by dramatic change, but real transformation is often quiet and repetitive. It is better to establish one habit firmly than to begin 10 habits and abandon all of them. Choose the habit that creates the strongest foundation. For many people, this may be sleep. For others, it may be morning exercise, focused work, or reducing phone use. Practice it until it becomes stable, and then add the next layer. A strong structure is built step by step. Do not confuse a powerful beginning with a sustainable path.
Can discipline become easier over time?
Yes, but not because life stops being difficult. It becomes easier because your relationship with difficulty changes. At first, discomfort feels like a warning to stop. Later, you understand that discomfort may simply mean growth is taking place. At first, you obey every emotion. Later, you obey emotion without surrendering to surrender addiction. At first, discipline feels like restriction. Later, you recognize it as freedom. Without discipline, you are controlled by cravings, moods, distractions, and impulses. With discipline, you gain the freedom to choose according to your values.
That is an interesting idea. Discipline as freedom. Could you explain it more?
Imagine 2 people. The first person does whatever they feel like doing. They sleep whenever they want, eat without control, avoid difficult tasks, spend without planning, and constantly seek entertainment. This may look like freedom, but over time, they may become controlled by poor health, financial problems, weak focus, regret, and dependence on pleasure. The second person accepts structure. They train, work, rest properly, control spending, and protect attention. This may look restrictive, but over time, they gain strength, stability, options, confidence, and independence. The person who cannot say no to an impulse is not free. The person who can choose their response is free.
What should someone do when they feel emotionally low? Should they still force themselves to perform at the same level?
You must learn to distinguish between genuine need and habitual avoidance. Sometimes the body needs rest. Sometimes the mind needs support. Sometimes the mind needs support. Sometimes reducing the intensity is wise. But rest should be conscious, not accidental escape. Ask, will this choice help me recover, or will it help me avoid? You may not always perform at 100%, but perhaps you can perform at 20%. On a difficult day, the victory may simply be maintaining connection with the habit. Walk for 5 minutes. Read 1 page. Write one paragraph. Clean one small area. Send one necessary message. Small action prevents emotional difficulty from becoming complete surrender.
What is one mistake people make after watching motivational content?
They confuse emotional stimulation with transformation. A powerful speech may make you feel strong for 1 hour. You may imagine a better life. You may feel ready to change everything. But if the emotion does not become action, nothing has changed. Motivation should be converted immediately into behavior. After listening to something meaningful, ask, what will I do now? Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Even a 5-minute action connects inspiration to reality. Without action, motivation becomes another form of entertainment.
So someone listening to this podcast should not simply move to the next video.
Correct. When this conversation ends, they should identify one action they have been delaying. Then they should begin it. The action does not need to be dramatic. It needs to be realistic.
Before we close, I want to ask you about identity. How does a person stop seeing themselves as lazy, weak, or inconsistent?
Do not try to change identity only through words. Change identity through repeated evidence. If you tell yourself, why am disciplined, but repeatedly avoid responsibility, the words will feel empty. Instead, perform disciplined actions. Wake up when you said you would. Complete the task you planned. Stop when you said you would stop. Return after a mistake. Each action becomes evidence. Over time, you no longer need to convince yourself that you are disciplined. Your behavior demonstrates it. Identity is not only something you discover, it is something you build.
What if someone has wasted many years? What if they feel it is too late to change?
The past cannot be changed, but your relationship with the present can change immediately. Regret can teach you, but living inside regret wastes more time. Do not use 10 lost years as a reason to lose another day. The best time may have passed. The next best time is now. You cannot control when you become aware. But once you are aware, you become responsible for your next decision. Do not ask, why did I not begin earlier? Ask, what can I begin today? A meaningful future is still built through the present moment.
I would like you to give our listeners a simple daily action framework, something they can begin using tomorrow morning.
Use 5 steps. First, wake up and avoid your phone for the first 30 minutes. Do not allow the outside world to control your mind before you have chosen your direction. Second, move your body. Stretch, walk, exercise, or practice controlled breathing. Physical movement prepares the mind for action. Third, identify one essential task. Write it clearly. Do not write, work on my project. Write, complete the introduction, call 3 clients, or study chapter 4. Fourth, begin before you feel ready. Use a timer if necessary. Work for 25 focused minutes without interruption. Fifth, review your day before sleeping. Ask what went well, what distracted you, and what you will do differently tomorrow. Keep the review honest and brief. Then repeat the process. Daily action does not require a complicated system. It requires clarity, repetition, and responsibility.
What should listeners remember when the excitement of this episode disappears?
Remember that your life is not shaped by what you occasionally understand. It is shaped by what you repeatedly practice. There will be ordinary days. There will be boring days. There will be difficult days. There will be days when no one praises you, no one watches you, and no result appears. Those are the days that reveal your commitment. Do not only work when the moment feels important. Make the moment important through your action.
Before we end, please give one final message to the person who keeps waiting for the right time.
The right time is not a perfect moment that suddenly arrives. The right time is the moment in which you stop running from responsibility. You may not feel ready. You may not have confidence. You may not know every step. Begin anyway. Do one push-up. Write one sentence. Read one page. Make one call. Take one step. Then repeat it tomorrow. Do not underestimate what daily action can create. A river shapes stone not through one powerful strike, but through continuous movement. Your future will not be built in one dramatic day. It will be built through the actions you repeat when no one is watching. Stop waiting for motivation to rescue you. Stop waiting for fear to disappear. Stop waiting for life to become easy. Stand up, choose the next step, and take action today.
That was Shi Heng Yi. Today's message is simple, but it can change your life if you practice it. You do not need to fix everything today. You do not need to feel fearless. You do not need to become a completely different person overnight. You only need to stop betraying your next important action. The future version of you is not waiting for another motivational video. That person is waiting for you to begin the work. When this podcast ends, do not immediately scroll to something else. Put your phone down. Choose the task you have been avoiding. Give it 10 focused minutes. 10 minutes may not complete the journey, but it can break the pattern of delay. And once the pattern is broken, a new life can begin. Thank you for listening. Remember, every day you avoid action, hesitation becomes stronger. Every day you take action, you become stronger. The choice is made through what you do next.